You can sleep 8 hours, wake up without a headache, and still feel like your brain is stuck in low gear. You sit down to work, and it is like your attention has holes in it. That disconnect is real, and it usually is not about willpower. What's happening is that sleep seems fine is a feeling, not a measurement. You might be unconscious for a long time, but the parts of sleep that restore focus can still be fragmented, mistimed, or blocked. And the frustrating part is you often do not notice it at night. You notice it the next day, as slow thinking, distractibility, and that constant urge to switch tasks. So in this breakdown, we are going to treat focus like a symptom, not a personality trait. We will walk through the most common reasons sleep can look okay on the surface, while your brain's attention systems are still under-recovered. And we will end with a simple way to test which category you are in without turning your life into a sleep project. Moving to slide 2. First, let's define what good sleep actually means for focus. Your brain does not just power off and back on. It cycles through stages. 2 matter a lot here. One is deep sleep, sometimes called slow-wave sleep. That is when the brain does a lot of physical restoration and resets some of the pressure that builds up during the day. The other is REM sleep, which is tied to emotional processing and learning. Focus the next day is strongly influenced by how well those stages happened, and whether they happened at the right times. Here is the trap. You can have plenty of total sleep time, but still have less deep sleep than you think. Or you can get REM, but in chopped up pieces. Your body might keep you asleep, but your brain is not getting clean cycles. So when someone says, "I sleep fine," I translate that into, "I am unconscious for long enough." That is a start, but for attention, we care about stable cycles. Moving to slide 3. One of the biggest hidden focus killers is micro-awakenings. These are brief arousals where your brain pops closer to wakefulness for a few seconds, then drops back down. You usually do not remember them, but they can slice up deep sleep and REM like a knife. What causes them? Sometimes it is noise, temperature, or light. Sometimes it is your own body, like reflux, allergies, or needing the bathroom. And a big one is breathing that gets subtly restricted during sleep. Not everyone has obvious snoring. Some people just have slightly increased effort to breathe, and the brain keeps checking in, over and over. The next day you do not feel sleepy, in the classic sense. You feel mentally scattered. You reread the same sentence. You lose your place mid-task. That is because attention needs continuity. Your brain needs long, uninterrupted stretches of the right stages. If your sleep is fragmented, your focus can be bad, even when your total hours look perfect on paper. Moving to slide 4. Next issue. Your sleep timing can be off, even if your sleep duration is fine. This is circadian rhythm. It is your brain's internal clock, and it controls when alertness hormones rise, when body temperature shifts, and when melatonin naturally peaks. If you go to bed at a time that does not match your clock, you can still fall asleep, but the sleep can be lower quality. Or you wake up at a time when your brain is still in its biological night. That creates a specific kind of focus problem. You are awake, but your attention system feels delayed, like it is booting up slowly. This often happens with inconsistent schedules, sleeping in on weekends, late nights followed by early mornings, or even just shifting your bedtime by 2 hours back and forth. A useful clue is this. If you feel significantly sharper later in the day, and mornings are consistently foggy, timing may be the bigger problem than total sleep. Your sleep seems fine because you do sleep. It is just happening out of phase. Moving to slide 5. Let's talk about caffeine, because it can create the illusion of good sleep. Caffeine blocks adenosine, the chemical that builds sleep pressure. That is why it makes you feel alert. But the half-life is long for many people, and it varies a lot. So you can drink coffee at noon, feel totally fine by bedtime, fall asleep quickly, and still have caffeine in your system that lightens deep sleep. You do not notice it as insomnia. You notice it as less mental stamina the next day. There is another twist. If you rely on caffeine to get through the morning fog, you may push your first real alert window later. Then you drink more caffeine later. Then sleep gets slightly lighter. That loop can run for years. The practical point is not quit caffeine. It is to treat caffeine like a sleep lever. Timing matters more than people think. And if your focus is bad, despite decent hours, caffeine timing is one of the easiest variables to test. Moving to slide 6. Another reason sleep can look fine but focus is bad is blood sugar volatility. Not in a dramatic way, more like subtle swings that disturb sleep depth. If you eat a heavy, high-sugar meal late, your body may spend part of the night managing glucose and temperature. That can increase wake-ups and reduce deep sleep. On the other side, if you go to bed underfueled, some people get an early morning stress hormone bump. That can cause a 3 or 4 a.m. wake-up, or just lighter sleep in the second half of the night. And the next day, focus suffers because your brain is sensitive to energy stability. You might feel jittery, impatient, or unable to hold a thought. Not because you are weak, because your system is oscillating. The goal is not perfection. It is noticing patterns. If your worst focus days follow late heavy dinners, or if you wake up hungry and wired, that is a strong hint that the sleep problem is metabolic, not just sleep hygiene. Moving to slide 7. Stress is obvious, but the mechanism is not. A lot of people say, "I'm not stressed," because they are not panicking. But the body can still run a higher baseline of arousal. If your nervous system stays slightly activated, sleep becomes lighter. You spend more time in lighter stages and less time in deep sleep. You might still sleep through the night, but the brain does not fully downshift. Then focus takes the hit. Because attention is not just concentration, it is inhibition. It is your ability to ignore irrelevant thoughts, sensations, and impulses. When your stress system is elevated, your brain becomes more threat sensitive. That can show up as checking your phone more, scanning for distractions, or feeling restless during tasks. A simple clue is this. If you wake up and your mind starts running immediately, or you feel tired but keyed up, you may be dealing with arousal, not lack of hours. The fix is not relax, it is building a consistent downshift routine that your body actually believes. Moving to slide 8. Light is another silent factor. Your brain uses light to set your clock and to regulate melatonin. Bright light at the wrong time can shift your rhythm and reduce sleep quality, even if you still fall asleep. 2 patterns matter. First, not enough bright light early in your day. If you spend mornings in dim indoor lighting, your clock can drift later. Second, too much bright light late in the evening. Overhead lights and screens can keep your brain in day mode longer than you realize. This shows up as sleep that feels normal, but mornings that feel heavy. Or you wake up and need a long time to feel mentally online. The focus consequence is straightforward. Your brain's alertness curve is shaped by light. If the curve is shifted, you are trying to do high focus work during your low alert window. You do not need extreme rules. But if you want focus, light has to be treated like a biological signal. Moving to slide 9. Let's get practical about your bedroom environment, because I slept fine often means you tolerated the room, but your brain is picky. Temperature is a big one. Most people sleep best when the room is slightly cool because your core temperature naturally drops at night. If the room is warm, your body works harder to cool down. That can cause more micro-awakenings. Sound is another. Even if noise does not fully wake you, it can pull you into lighter sleep. Same with light leaks. A tiny amount of street light can be enough to reduce melatonin for some people. And then there is airflow. Stale air and dryness can worsen nasal congestion, which can worsen breathing effort, and that loops back into fragmentation. This is not about buying gadgets. It is about removing friction. If your focus is bad, treat your sleep environment like a performance space. Cool, dark, quiet, and consistent. Boring is good. Moving to slide 10. Now a big one people miss. Sleep inertia. That is the grogginess and poor focus right after waking, even if your sleep was solid. Sleep inertia is worse if you wake from deep sleep. It is also worse when you are sleep deprived, or when your circadian rhythm says it is still night. The tricky part is that sleep inertia can last 30 minutes, or it can last 2 hours for some people. So you might think, my focus is terrible all morning. But it is not your baseline focus. It is a temporary state your brain is in after waking. This is why the first hour of your day can be a misleading diagnostic. If you judge your sleep based on how you feel at 8 a.m., you might assume the night was bad, or you might assume you need more caffeine. But the real fix might be changing wake time consistency, adjusting light exposure, or simply delaying your hardest cognitive work until your brain is fully online. Focus is about timing, not just capacity. Moving to slide 11, let's separate two different problems that feel the same. Sleepiness versus fatigue. Sleepiness is the drive to fall asleep, heavy eyelids, nodding off. Fatigue is low energy and low motivation, but you might not actually be able to nap. You can feel wired and tired at the same time. Why does this matter for focus? Because they point to different causes. If you are truly sleepy during the day, that often suggests insufficient sleep, poor sleep quality, or a sleep disorder pattern. If you are fatigued but not sleepy, it can be stress load, under-recovery, low physical activity, mood factors, or even too much time in a high-stimulation environment. And here's the twist. Many people with bad focus are not sleepy. They are overstimulated and under-restored. Their brain has trouble sustaining attention because it is constantly seeking novelty. So when you assess your own situation, ask a sharper question than, "Am I tired?" Ask, "Could I fall asleep at 2 p.m. if I had the chance?" Moving to slide 12. Let's talk about breathing during sleep, carefully and realistically. Because this is one of the most common reasons people get enough hours but still have poor focus. If your airway narrows at night, your brain may partially wake to keep breathing stable. That can happen with obvious snoring, but it can also happen quietly. The result is fragmented sleep architecture and less restorative deep sleep. The daytime signs can be subtle. Dry mouth in the morning, waking with a slightly sore throat, morning headaches for some people, or just feeling unrefreshed with brain fog and low attention. I am not diagnosing anyone here, but if this resonates, it is worth discussing with a qualified clinician, because sleep-related breathing issues are measurable and treatable in a medical setting. And even if you do not have a clinical issue, nasal congestion from allergies or dry air can still increase breathing effort. That alone can reduce sleep quality. So yes, you can sleep fine and still be under-oxygenated or over-aroused in tiny bursts all night. Moving to slide 13. Now let's build a simple self-check. Not a gadget-heavy thing. Just a way to narrow down your likely category in 1 week. Category 1 is fragmentation. You wake up unrefreshed, you have scattered focus, and you often have signs like dry mouth, a warm room, noise, or frequent bathroom trips. Category 2 is misalignment. You sleep a decent number of hours, but mornings are consistently brutal, and evenings are when you feel sharp. Weekends shift your schedule, and Monday feels like jet lag. Category 3 is stimulation and stress load. You are not truly sleepy in the day, but your attention is jumpy. You crave novelty. Your mind starts running the moment you wake. For 7 days, track 3 things: bedtime and wake time, caffeine timing, and a simple focus score from 1 to 10 at 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. You are looking for correlations, not perfection. Moving to slide 14. Let's land this with a realistic action order, because if you try to fix everything at once, you fix nothing. First, stabilize your schedule. A consistent wake time is the anchor. Even if bedtime varies a bit, the wake time is what trains your clock. Second, protect the last hour before sleep. Not with perfection, with a downshift. Lower light, lower stimulation, and a predictable routine that tells your brain the day is done. Third, test caffeine timing for a week. Keep the same amount, just move it earlier. See what happens to your 3 p.m. focus score and your morning fog. Fourth, adjust the room. Cooler, darker, quieter. Remove the obvious friction points. And if you suspect breathing-related fragmentation, or you have persistent unrefreshing sleep, that is the moment to talk to a clinician. 1 subscription request, then I'm done. If you want more practical mental models like this, subscribe. And for a comment, I want a simple forced choice. Which is your bigger problem? A. Morning fog, or B. Afternoon crash. Every habit sends a biological signal.